Hey y'all, so I'm excited to answer your September questions. We got 6 questions and I think they're really thoughtful. So let me bring you my most thoughtful answers for them. So is it Kala or is it Kayla? Well, let me know. So you said you mentioned in your podcast about how this most recent year in business has been one of your most successful and easeful because you started to prioritize yourself and slow down. Can you share more about that transition and what boundaries you put in place for yourself and others? I'm currently in a very demanding job and want to shift in prioritizing my health and wellness outside of it with having more intentional time for myself, family, friends, hobbies, and building my own business. Heard you. Okay. This year, after my company crumbled in 2023, after I fired everybody, one of the things that I have done this year was really release my need to be everything to everybody because one, it was not serving me. It was running me into the wall. I was really hard on myself when I was not able to show up for somebody or be at an event or, even be the best version of myself. So in the midst of the crumbling, I'd be beating myself up for all the ways in which I continue to not hit my own expectations and others. So it's going to sound simple, but honestly, I hit a point where I said, in this moment, it is okay for me to disappoint people. They're going to have to deal. Like, I can no longer wear the expectations. At this moment, I am just going to operate at a default that people are going to be mad. And it's okay. Because why am I trying to protect everybody else's feelings when I am drowning? Why am I trying to be superwoman when I can barely keep my head above water? So number one, release yourself of the big expectations. That's one. Two, a very practical thing that I started doing, and Fawn Weaver actually gave me this tip, is honoring the Sabbath. Whether or not you are a believer, whether or not you like to go to church, that's not what I'm talking about. It's picking one day every week, one day, where the purpose of that day is to reset and recharge you. I've been doing Sundays. It's easy to do Sundays because the world is more quiet, I feel like. And on Sundays, I am the most useless version of myself. Like, Sundays, the rule is I do not exist to anybody or anything. I get to only do what I want to do. That might mean I'm in my pajamas all day. That might mean I'm literally watching Netflix for 9 hours. That might mean I'm playing The Sims for 9 hours. On that day, I literally do not have any expectations of myself, and nobody has expectations of me, and if they do, it will be disappointed. Just know that. So even my husband knows this, right? Even my niece knows this. My mom knows this. My sister knows this. I don't have to pick up any phone calls. If I do decide to go to brunch, it's because I feel energized by that brunch, and I feel like that's what I want to do that day. It's the day where I only say yes if my spirit tells me to say yes. That has been transformative to help me in my burnout recovery, because that day interruption, the amount of burden that slides off you to even just have that day to know I don't exist for anybody but myself, it is a healing tool. So taking the Sabbath has been incredible for me. And if I have to miss a Sunday, let's say I'm traveling, I will pick another day that week where I can do that. So one day, do nothing, okay? And then these are the ways that I start prioritizing slow down. And it's been really helpful. And I think what happens is when you really start taking the emotional and mental burdens off you, it gives you more clarity to be able to make decisions better. So that has actually allowed me to be more creative. It's allowed me to be more present, less reactive, and more clear. And that has transformed the way I do business. That has transformed the way I'm moving through the world. I am more confident now about my decisions because they're not being rushed. It's not from a place of fatigue. It is not from a place of exhaustion. And that has made the world of difference for me. So that's what I recommend for you, especially in this rebuild moment for yourself. Okay? Okay, Megzy is asking, any tips for first-time people managers dealing with employees not meeting expectations? You're going to need to make sure, one, that your expectations of your employees are very clear. very, very, very clear, where it's not in a gray area. What are you expected to do when? Right? So if I need you to be on by 8:45, I need to tell you that. So that's one. Two, if they're not meeting expectations still, you need to be fast with consequences. And I'm not saying punishment, but consequences and response and feedback. So don't hoard feedback where, they mess up one time and you don't tell them. And you're like, I'll just wait. And then they do a second time and you're like, I'll just wait. No. Give feedback in real time. Hey, I noticed you were late on this thing. Next time we're going to need this at the deadline that we set. Right? So give constant feedback. Also give constant praise. So if they're doing something well, say that was amazing. Thank you for that. But give constant feedback, even if it's critical, right? And then 3, make firm decisions. So one of the mistakes that I made last year when I was in the midst of the crumbling was I was not making decisions fast enough to fire people, frankly speaking. I let people be on way longer than they should have, to my detriment, to the company's detriment. So when they keep dropping the ball, come up with a policy. Is it 3 strikes you're out? Is it 5 strikes you're out? Is it after we've had a performance improvement plan? Create action plans that show that their mistakes are being noted. And even though you are giving grace, you're also not going to allow them to burn your house down before you fire them. So make quicker decisions on letting people go. Be clear about your expectations and give feedback in real time. And you can give feedback in Slack. You can call them and say, hey, let's talk about this last week. You've made a lot of critical mistakes that we cannot afford to keep happening. What do you need? And also here's the other piece. Ask them what they need from you, because are some of these expectations because you aren't holding up your end of the bargain? Ask that question outright. Do you need anything from me? Do you need any adjustments for me to make? Ultimately, what are some ways that I can set you up for success? And have them think it through and tell you an answer. They can come back with the answer later, but you also want to show that you, as the leader, are open to feedback also. So those are my tips for you. That's what I learned last year in my stuff. Okay, Kristen, I want to do more paid speaking engagements, keynotes, and other presentations. Any tips on how to do this? All right, this is going to sound weird. Speaking begets speaking, which means you're going to need to speak to do more speaking. If you have a speaking engagement, I want you to make sure you have a recording of it. I want to make sure that you have photos of it. You post them on social to show that you're doing this, because it's a signal out to let other people know, oh, she does this, right? So you want to always put the signal up. If you have any speaking engagement, I need you to post about it. That's 1. 2, do you have a website? Get a website and get a speaking page, because you have to spoon feed people and let them know you do this, that you're available for this. And a website is important because if they want to book you, oftentimes, even if they want to book you, they still have to get buy-in from somebody else. So you want to make buy-in easy by having a place for the person who is advocating for you to send people to, like, oh yeah, no, she's an amazing speaker. Here's her website. You definitely need that. Definitely need that. If you don't have a website yet, create a media kit for yourself that shows that you're speaking. Then the third thing is create signature speaking topics. So you're not going to be doing different talks every time. No. Really, you need 1 to 2. Some people have 3. I have 3, but really, I only do 1 for real. I've been doing the same signature talk for like 7 years since my TED Talk. I tweak it, I customize it for the audience, but it's really the same talk. You need to make clear what your signature talk is, and that needs to go on your speaking site, right? That needs to go on your website. That needs to go on your media kit, so then people can know what you are the expert at. Do not pick random topics. You want to pick 1 major topic and then maybe 2 smaller ones that you are an expert at, that you are passionate about, that you know your shit at, right? When you do that, then people start knowing you as a person, as a go-to for this topic. And then you keep talking and speaking and then doing more engagements, pitching yourself to conferences. Frankly speaking, in the beginning, you might have to do a few for free just to have the portfolio. But then from that point on, you start letting it known that you are a speaker, that you've done it before. People want to see proof of concept, so they want to see the videos, they want to see clips, they want to see the pictures, bring all of that together. And that is how people start going, oh, you need a speaker on this? Oh, Kristen Dolan is a great one, right? It's about the people who are going to be speaking your name up in the rooms that you're not in. Most speaking engagements that you're going to get, you will get them from rooms you're not even in, from somebody else saying, oh, I know a great speaker. So those are my tips for you on that. Okay. Any tips? So Lily's asking, any tips on how to stay open in newish, strange places to find your helpers? As you all know, one of my favorite prayers is, let my helpers find me. If I'm walking into a new room, a new space, or even a new season of my life, I will say that prayer as a way to be a magnet to, what God has for me, where it means I don't have to do the work. They have to find me, right? How do you stay open to finding your helpers in new and strange places? Recognizing what help looks like. Help might look like somebody saying, hey, let me know if you want, a quick connect on places to go. Let me know if you want me to introduce you to my friend. Say yes. In the moments when you are looking for your helpers, say yes to offers that are sent to you. I think oftentimes we will go, no, I don't need that. No, I'm okay. No, I don't want to bother you. Those are the helpers that were sent to you. Be open to saying yes, even if it makes you uncomfortable, in terms of like, oh man, do I deserve this? You deserve it. So just recognize what help looks like. And then the other thing about being open to help, honestly, asking for help. Asking for help. Putting out a call. Hey, I just moved to this new place. Does anybody have a network there that they could connect me to? Being open to help is asking for help, right? Hey, everybody, I am in a new industry. I would love to know if there's any professional networks, or if there's anybody who's willing to go to lunch with me to talk about how I can be set up for success. Ask for help out of your own mouth, on social, to your friends, to colleagues. Ask for help, and you will see how help will come. You will get help just by saying, you know what? I need help. I'll tell you, this last season of mine, where it was tough. 2023 beat my ass. I had to get to a point where I said, I need help. I need help. I was calling my mentors. I talked to my friends, talked to my husband, and even being open to receiving help brought help to me. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. Just be open to asking. The ask wound that we have that keeps us from bugging people because we don't want to be a burden. In this moment, it's asking you to heal it by simply asking. People are waiting to help you. They're just waiting to know that you need help, right? Does that make sense? Like, there are people who are like, oh my God, I would have totally helped you if I knew you had this need. So ask. That's my tip for that. Jillian is asking, you just wrote your book proposal in 5 days. Do you recommend writing the book first or the proposal? Or is it a combined approach? Great question. Write the proposal first. A book proposal is ultimately a book plan. It is the thing that allows you to think through the book before you put pen to paper. And when you write the book proposal, the work that the book proposal requires you to do makes it so that writing the book is so much easier because you've already planned out what the thesis statement is. You planned out, how you're going to market it. You've planned out what are the books that are similar in tone, title, topic, all of that. And then you've planned out the table of contents. You've written chapter summaries. All of these things, when done in advance, when it's time to sit down to write the book, you're not ever starting with a blank page. It's already been done. So if you are writing a book or want to write a book, I tell my Book Academy students this all the time. Do not write a book without a book proposal. It is going to make your life so much harder if you do not have the proposal. And I believe, deeply believe, that the reason why most people do not finish their books is because they did not plan it out to begin with. They just sit there and think the book is going to write itself, and they hit the walls. So then they stop, they get discouraged. Write your book proposal first, and then you write the book, because the book proposal is the plan for the book. I invite you into the Book Academy. It'd be really helpful for you. I know I have a lot of resources that will allow you to write a book quicker, easier, clearer. So come into the Book Academy, so yeah. And Jen is asking, what is your tip for getting people to hear what you have to say when you are surrounded by people who talk over you? Ooh. Number one, I need you to know that the words that you have to say are worthwhile. Know that first. They are worth hearing. They are worth interrupting a room for. I need you to remember that, because if people can continue to speak over you, I'm going to need you to choose courage and say, excuse me, I was not done speaking. And you keep interrupting. I would love to finish what I was saying. That takes the courage of understanding that your words are valuable. So number one, your words are valuable. Know this in your spirit. Your words are valuable. They matter. And then number two, do not be afraid to assert and reclaim your time. Shout out to Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Hey, excuse me. I was not done speaking. I would like to finish my statement, and then you can have the floor. It's so important for you to assert this, because otherwise they will keep on speaking over you. They will keep on trampling over your words, even though your words matter. And it's also why people who are the loud ones have to now also be cognizant of the ways in which they over-dominate space. I'm very cognizant of that. Whenever I'm on panels, it's actually why I'm a terrible person on a panel. I actually overcorrect and I don't say much, because I don't want to dominate the space. I'm sorry that people keep speaking over you. I need you to assert your time and your space and your words. They matter. They belong in that room. And the loud ones are not the smartest. They just happen to be the loudest. Okay? So Jen, tell people that your words matter and that you need the time for it. And I'm rooting you on. So I love y'all's questions. Every month I'm going to be doing these. And yeah, thank you for being a part of this community, this Troublemakers Thriving community. This is a sanctuary that I want us to all grow and elevate as we are looking to do life and work better, because they're all intermingled. And I am glad to be along with you as your guide, and more to come.